Hey, hey, hey.
Hey.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Sam the Bomb, aka Phantasmagistera, and my co-host, Matchstick Man Joel. Joel Marazzo.
What are we doing here today?
Welcome to the first episode of Cards in Hand. We talk about card games, trading card games, collectible card games, tabletop games. Anything tabletop, really. Mostly trading card games, though. But tonight's more of an introductory episode. And, I mean, if you're any kind of card game lover or tabletop lover or just nerd in general, be a good show for you. So, first, I guess, it'd be kind of weird if people didn't know. I mean, we should talk about, my history and Joel's history of card games, so because we don't want anyone to think we're just some Joes talking about,
Sure.
card games.
Joe's. I mean, I guess I'm close to a Joe, but not quite.
Yeah, mess up your name. Like, oh, it's Joe.
Right there.
It's Joe Marazzo.
Hey, that's cool.
All right. Well, I mean, I've been playing card games. I mean, I'm 23 years old. So, like, when Pokemon came out, I think I was, like, in 3rd grade or something. That's probably when I started collecting the cards. That really, as a competitive card player, doesn't really mean anything. But, I mean, that's when I did learn how to play. And I think, I want to say, like, 5th grade or 6th grade is when I learned to play Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! But, I mean, it wasn't up until really, I mean, I'd always been collecting the cards just for no reason. But really, like, the competitive trading tabletop atmosphere that when I started becoming competitive and serious was probably HeroClix. And I think I was, like, I must have been 16 or 17 or something. And I spent a lot of money on that game. And got into the semifinals for Coming of Galactus tournament in, like, 2006. And then around 2008, I started playing Pokemon competitively. Like, really. Like, me and my brother. Like, we dropped some serious money on that game. Probably, I think I played that for 2 years. And then after that, on and off 2 years more. So, like, I guess in total, like, 3 years. But, that was really fun. That was a fun time. That's probably when I met most of my card game friends that I play with now. That's probably when I met most of them. And then I got into competitive Vanguard. This was only like last year.
I remember that. That was a weird time.
Vanguard. And then I went to a couple tournaments. This is probably the first game where I got real competitive. I actually went to some tournaments farther away than the South Metro area of Minnesota where we live.
How far did you go?
Like, Mankato.
Oh.
So, like, west, I guess. More west. I think that's the farthest. Oh, no, the farthest I went was Iowa. So, I guess that doesn't really count. But, I mean, that's the first time I ever went out of state for a tournament. And those tournaments were, like, invite only. So, it's like we had to go. Well, I mean, we didn't have to, but it's like we got invited, so we should go, Because, Bushiroad tournaments, the makers of Vanguard and Weiss Schwarz, you have to get invited to the bigger tournaments. So I think that was kind of cool. It's kind of a cool feeling to know that it's like, oh, I got this far in this tournament enough to where I would get invited to something, like, because Pokemon tournaments are just like, they're like, you can go to any of them. And then, like, you can only, then, like, when you have enough, like, I don't know how they do it, like, because back when I was in Pokemon, it wasn't really like this, but, like, now they have this thing called championship points, and I don't know. Like if you have a certain amount of championship points, then it's like um then you can like go to worlds and nationals and stuff. I don't know. But
you never got that far.
No.
Right?
No.
Right.
The most I've gotten, the farthest I've gotten in a Pokemon tournament, or the most like big tournament thing I went to, I think was the regionals.
Okay.
Because it goes by cities. They do cities, and then regionals, nationals, and then worlds.
Got it.
And they always hold worlds at some crazy place like Hawaii or California, or something like that, which is badass. But and then yeah, so Vanguard. I mean, I got invited, like because they had team tournaments, and I got invited. Me and my team got invited, to go to Iowa, and we completely just scrubbed out. But the tournament, the single tournament I went to for when I went to Mankato, I actually vlogged that. It's on my YouTube channel, so you can go and watch that and see how bad I did there.
How much salt got passed?
Yeah, there's a lot of salt.
Yeah.
Like you could probably, I think not as much as the Iowa trip, like when I upload that, but like you could taste the salt if you lick the screen a little bit. Like
Right.
I was pretty mad. But that's on youtube.com/switchblades hand grenades, so you can go check that out if you want. But yeah, now I play Weiss Schwarz. That's what I play now. And I play that with you, actually. I play that with Joel.
Yeah.
It's a really fun game. It's not really big in America yet. There's not a lot of English parts out yet, but there's still a lot of players in Minnesota who do play, and we just play Japanese decks. I have like my main deck is a Japanese deck, and I just have translations for it. But which is it's kind of in a weird area right now because Vanguard's got I don't know, like 10 sets plus 6 extra sets in English.
Yeah.
So I mean tournaments here are all English. But the recent Weiss Schwarz Regionals tournament that I participated in was Japanese only.
Which, by the way, we'll get into that later, but there was a little bit of salt there, too, on my end. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
So, I mean, right now, for me, the competitiveness is probably what I like about card games, seeing who's the best, like who's smarter strategically. But, I mean, I like that's probably my love. My love for card games spreads all over, though. Because, I mean, I have just like a closet full of random card games that are like dead, but I'll still pull them out and make a deck with them and be like, who wants to play with me? And then people will be like, no, that's stupid. I don't want to play that, right? Like,
right.
like Digimon and Yu Yu Hakusho. Like, I have like Kingdom Hearts decks in there, which sucks. But I still have all my Pokemon decks built from back in the day too. And me and a buddy were supposed to play. And yeah, dude. So what's up with you in card games?
Well, my story. It's funny because our stories kind of meet in the middle. I grew up not knowing anybody who would play card games, so I just collected them. Magic back in the day. Yeah, no one ever wanted to learn, so that was kind of sad. And then for the longest time, I was buying the WoW trading cards just to get the loot cards, just to sell. One time,
it's not a bad idea.
No, it's not, because one time I pulled a $350 loot card, sold it. So that was fun. So then I had this massive surplus of like old Pokemon cards and WoW cards. I mean, you saw my stack I had when we first met.
Oh yeah.
I had like thousands of WoW cards sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I met Sam here. We skipped school one day. And,
no, we were in college and we skipped that day because me and my fiance were living in an apartment and we didn't want to pay. The laundry machine there was like expensive as hell. So I was like, called Joel. He was already at school, and I called him, and I was like, dude, I got to do laundry, so I'm just going to take it all at once and go to this laundromat. Like, do you sell those wild cards? We should play. So I went and picked them up, and we stopped at a gas station where we got, like, crappy holiday gas station food and
Yep.
and like energy drinks, and we just sat like while my clothes was in the like the 3 washers that I had put it in. We sat and relearned how to play the WoW card game. It was fun.
It was fun.
That was fun.
Dude, no, we played WoW for a long time. Like
We
that
did.
was we still do once in a great while. I still think it's a fun, even though it's dead now, which is it's officially dead.
Right.
They stopped production because of Hearthstone,
Right.
which is so awesome when I can't wait to play. But yeah, I mean, after that kind of opened the floodgates. I finally, this is gonna sound kind of sad, but I finally had that friend who I could play card games with. We played everything then. We played everything we could get our hands on.
Dude, I think we that at that point we were just in it for the fun.
Yep.
Like I even taught you to play Vanguard when I was into it and stuff.
Yep.
And I think that's probably why we did this show together too.
Yeah.
Which is cool because I mean, you know, we know. I think we know a lot about a lot of card games, but not enough about one yet.
Sure.
But, you know, like
Sure.
I think that's why it's fun.
I think except for Weiss.
Yeah.
Right?
Actually,
So
we know a lot.
I like to think we have a good understanding of that, considering we play it so frequently. But like we were playing, what was it? UFS, right? Is that what it was called?
Oh yeah, Universal Fight. Yeah, Universal Fighting.
We played that for a while.
Yeah, that's that game is so dumb.
No.
I think
Yeah.
the last time we played it, I think it was a little weird. It was just kind of like this. I don't get it.
Well, because the rules are so funky.
there's so many rules.
Yeah.
There's so many mechanics put into that game in a weird way. It's not like Magic where it's like it says, you know, like if a card says, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm breaking up my Penny
Penny
Arcade
Arcade.
UFS deck. Super awesome. The
Penny
Evil
Arcade.
Genius. I always beat you with this one too, with the Evil Genius deck. Always.
Yeah, dude, UFS is like it's supposed to be like Street Fighter, Darkstalkers, like just a bunch of fighting games in a card game, and you could play them together. Like you could have a Ryu deck, but have like King of Fighters cards in there if you wanted.
Right.
It didn't really matter.
Right.
The only thing that mattered was like if your character didn't share the same like element symbols as the cards you were using in your deck, then you couldn't use it.
Right.
And some of the cards were weird like that too, because like one of Ryu's like shurikens or something
Mm-hmm.
was like if your character card, or like if the attacks before this attack shares more than 2 symbols with this card, then it does like an extra damage or something weird like that. So there was ways to do combos in that game, but it was always really hard because that game relied on checking the top card to see if your attack would go through. You know, so it was kind of hard to get those combos if you're throwing away cards by checking them.
Right.
So, but I mean, that was a fun game for a while.
It was fun. So we
the
did
last time
that.
we played it, it was like, I don't know.
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, I don't remember how to play it anymore. It's so complicated.
Yeah, me neither.
Then we played Magic, obviously, and yeah, that was. I mean, it's kind of a given. What else did we play? We played Pokemon a little bit, and we'll get into why I don't like Pokemon in a little bit. What else was it? It was that was it. Oh, Vanguard. I played a little bit with you. And then other than that, Weiss. Right? Sorry, my phone's going off. Yeah, it was Weiss.
Yeah, I don't think I ever taught you how to play like Yu-Gi-Oh or anything.
No.
I don't think you ever wanted to.
No, I refused.
Or Yu Yu Hakusho or any of those weird dead card games.
Even though we have a Yu-Gi-Oh card in this little jumble of cards here, you know. Had to.
Yeah, in our logo, yeah, there's a Yu-Gi-Oh card in there. Well, because it's one of the big card games now.
Right.
It's one of the big card games still.
Yeah.
Even though it's
For
kind
sure.
of like, I don't know, it's kind of a weird game. I think now with some of the restrictions and bans they have out there, more decks are able to be played. But like when I started playing, there was literally like 1 or 2 decks dominating the tournaments, and that was the Frog 1-turn kill deck, and then the X Sabers or whatever they were called. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I forgot what they do, but like
Right.
basically with the X Saber deck, it'd be like, oh, you played this card, call another one for free. Oh, you
Right.
played that one, then do that. Oh, you played that one, okay, then do this after. And then you just synchro them all together, and then they were this giant monster that you couldn't kill.
See, now, I think this is a good spot because I want to talk about why we play. And you bring up a good point, and this is why I like Weiss as much as I do. Why do we play, Sam? I play because it's fun. I buy boxes of cards. I love opening packs of cards. Who doesn't? I have that total collector mentality. And I always take what I get and I build something with it, and I challenge myself to try to come up with something that's going to be good and decent and work. And then I play for fun. I don't play competitively. I'm not a professional card player. But that's why I play. And I don't like a lot of games because of exactly that. You can build a deck, spend hundreds of dollars, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Like, it's just like I pay to win. Well, yeah, it's pay to win. Yeah. I don't like those games. That's why I never played Pokemon with you, because fuck.
Well, I mean, that's a tough thing though when you say that, because most card games that have a stable format and that are really big right now, you have to buy those cards to want to get that far, you know. And then you got, like, you know, because I want to say like 35 or 40, maybe even 50% of the players that go to some of these bigger tournaments are there just for fun.
Sure.
And then there's the ones who are there for the prize money or the scholarship or
the fame
or the fame
or the women.
Yes. All the women.
Okay. Okay. Is that why you're there?
What? Yes.
Chat room is saying that Japanese Weiss cards are super expensive. Actually, they're not. They're actually cheaper, I think, than American cards.
Well, that's tough, though, because there's not a lot of American sets out yet. There's only like 4.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the prices that are there now are pretty fair. Because that's the thing about Vanguard. I mean, Vanguard and Weiss Schwarz are both Bushiroad games. And I don't know if that matters. But, I mean, the Japanese prices, I remember when Majesty Lord Blaster came out for Vanguard, I really needed that card for my deck. The English one. And when I would eBay the prices, because Japan got it like months and months earlier. When Japan came out with Majesty Lord Blaster, it went for $30 on eBay. When it came out in English, that's about how much it was, the English version, you know? For Pokemon, I don't know if it's any different. I think it's the same too. But for the most part, they translate pretty well. The Monaco Magica set is in English as well for Weiss Schwarz. And the
Fate Zero.
The Fate Zero, yeah. And the Ultimate Monaco card, I think those prices translated pretty well over. I think maybe the English one is like $5 more only.
We all know how I feel about that card. I still think it's very good. I don't know, whatever.
I mean, I don't know, dude. A change is a change.
Whatever. Yeah, but whatever. Nah, go on.
Oh, hold on. I think I know Lightning Helix here is a little salty. In the chat room.
Oh, Persona 4. Yeah, that's a really old set.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I think if I know who that is.
Of course you do.
Watching, he loves Persona, and he's getting me into Persona a lot. And
I
really want a Persona 3 trial deck for Weiss Schwarz.
Yeah.
Really bad. They have the singles on this website I shop at, and they're kind of spendy because it's an older set. You know,
right.
You know.
I'm just getting something. It's cool if you can pull off a 3-card combo ending in Homura, which is completely true. You're absolutely right, because that's really what that change does in the Madoka Magica set, the Ultimate Monica. It changes. You change into that, and then that goes to memory, and then you call out the Homura, and she gets like an extra 1K. I don't know. I just don't think it's worth it. It's whatever.
Change is a change.
I know.
Change is always good.
I know.
You know.
I know. Whatever. So, I mean, what's your favorite game? What's your favorite card game of all time?
I don't know. That's hard. That's like asking me, like, what's your favorite food?
What is your favorite food?
I'm fat as hell. I don't have a favorite. Like,
The correct answer is all of them.
oh yeah. I don't know. I love tabletop gaming and card gaming so much that I just like to try and play all of them.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I don't know why. I don't know what my problem is. I just want to try and play all of them. Like, I love to learn all of them just to learn all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we did it. We do have an idea for a show, just to buy a random obscure card game and learn how to play it. Like, just like a pack on eBay, or like a box of whatever.
Right.
And then learn how to play it because it'd be fun. Because I think we both like learning different card games, stuff like that, and that's why that would be so much fun for us.
Right.
Just to find the obscure ones, like, oh my god, do I have them here?
I think on a casual level, my favorite game is probably Weiss Schwarz.
Like these. The over Marvel Overpower game.
Marvel Overpower.
What is this? Like, I want to learn this so bad. I'm telling you, let's do it. I got 2 cards. So
let's learn to play that next. Marvel Overpowered.
Yep.
I think on a casual level, my favorite game is probably Weiss Schwarz, because that's a card game that I can play both competitively and like for fun with you, you know?
Yeah.
Because even at the tournament I was just at for Weiss Schwarz, I was having fun. Like, I didn't care that I didn't even get the invite. At a Vanguard tournament or a Pokemon tournament, I got pretty salty.
Right.
But I think the most fun I've had in a competitive atmosphere so far was Pokemon. And that was because the players, like, there's always a community with everything you do. And, like, the fighting gamer community, they are a bunch of, they're kind of harsh. Like, they're kind of mean guys, you know? Like, they're pretty, like, oh, man, if you're not good enough to hang with us, then don't hang with us, you know?
What do they say? Hold that?
Yeah, yeah. Mike Koss, professional Street Fighter 4 player, he's always like, hold that! Hold that L up to your chest.
Oh, man.
He's good, though. He's really good.
But like
fighting games, too.
Like, fighting games, I can see as being a little bit more, like, aggressive, right? Because it's a fighting game. You're playing a game where you're punching another guy, and there's a lot of skill involved as far as, like, you know, hitting the right buttons and stuff like that. So, yeah, I can see those people maybe being a little bit more competitive and aggressive.
It's a lot of fast skill and less. I mean, there is strategy, but it has to be quick strategy.
Sure.
Is he gonna kick me when he drops the jump? Is he gonna option select when I go for this Hadoken? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, but I mean, anyways, that's a different thing. But anyways, there's a community for everything you do. In the Pokemon community, those guys, I mean, you know, every card game community has a couple of D-bags, you know, like, oh, that guy's a jerk, like, whatever.
Right.
But the Pokemon community, when I first started playing, you know, I felt a little out of place. I definitely did. But there were a couple of guys out there who gave me cards to build my deck. They were like, you need this, you need this, you need this. And those guys stuck with me and my brother throughout my whole competitive career with that game.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I probably had the most fun competitively, because when I lost, you know, I was still very salty, but I mean, there was always those inside jokes with those guys that were just crazy.
Right.
And the 3 double juke. If I know who that is. He's a very, very good Pokemon player.
What's up with all the Jew hate in the chat room? Like, I don't understand, really. I know who one of them is.
Dude, Lightning Helix got this right. Fighting games.
Yep.
Doing action is better than doing no action. Card games. You better be doing the right action. Definitely more thinking involved in card games. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
But if I know who that 3 Jews guy is, he's a very good Pokemon player, and he's one of the guys who kept me hungry to win in that card game. And I think that's why I probably had a lot of fun with it.
Right.
One of my favorite decks that I have right now, and I still have it built because I love it, is Gyarados.
Oh.
And at the very end, like towards the end of my Pokemon career, when I was trying to build that, he helped me build that. And it's basically, I mean, you're doing 110 damage for free. Like, it's just like, there's no energy involved. There's 110 damage, that's it. You know, like, it's super fun to pull off and troll people with. But I mean, So you're smirking right now, like.
I know, because it's bullshit. I hated playing Pokemon with you. I hated every single second of it. God, I never had fun. It just was so bullshit. I would sit there for minutes at a time waiting for you to do whatever you were doing. Like, you'd be like, oh, okay, I'm going to play this, and then I get to look for this, and then I get to look for this too, and then you'd shuffle, and then you'd play another stupid card, and it would be like, I got to look for this. And then you'd shuffle again. I got so bored, and all I was doing was being like, oh, I'm going to play the one card. Right? And then you're like, okay, my turn. Look, shuffle, and whatever. And it's like, and then you'd win in like 3 turns anyway.
See, and this brings me to the next thing, is like, this is why it's sometimes it's hard, because me and you, we play so much stuff together, you know, video games and card games alike, and you know, there's a meta for everything. A meta game, you know, there just is. Yep. There is for Street Fighter,
MVC3.
There is for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and then there is for card games. There always is for card games.
Right.
The Pokemon meta, you know, at that time when I was playing, when it was and you know, some of the viewers will understand where I'm coming from here. When it was Majestic Dawn to Heart Gold Soul Silver, that was like I think that was like 9 sets long.
Jeez.
Or 6, 7 sets long. It was a wide range of cards, and for a rotating card game, it was pretty huge.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time when I was playing, there was a lot of deck ideas. There was a lot of decks, but only 3 or 4 of them were really good, and one of them was SP, which is you know, SP was an already evolved Pokemon that you could play as a basic. It was owned by a gym leader. So like the last gym leader in Diamond and Pearl, the electric guy, Volkner, I think his name is, or I forgot the dude's name. Now I feel like a jackass. He had a Luxray card, and that card was really good. I have that deck too, built. But I mean, if you didn't play, like, there were staple trainers, staple supporters. Like, if you didn't play these supporters or trainers, you were boned.
Right.
You know what I mean? And some of those cards, I remember, went for like, people were trading big for some of these trainers. Like, there was a card out there called Pokemon Collector, which I have 4 of them. I only have 4 of them because they were so hard to get, and they weren't even a rare. It was an uncommon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because the card was that good, you know, I mean, I traded my brother for, he wouldn't let up for me at all. I traded him some mad shit for that.
Wow.
Yeah, and a holo version of it, oh my god, game over. But I mean, you played a supporter once per turn. You can only play 1 supporter per turn. But it searched for 3 basic Pokemon from your deck. If you had that in your opening hand, you were 2 steps ahead of your opponent already.
Right.
You know? But yeah.
You know. By the way, I just want to point out that my pen is significantly larger than yours. Just.
I have a pencil, dude.
I know. I have a marker. Anyway. Yeah, that's kind of the point. Now, let me ask you, do you find it fun to construct a deck like that and then use it?
I think in a competitive field where I was playing, like at a Pokemon Cities or a Battle Roads, yeah.
Okay.
But you know, when it was against you casually, it wasn't fun.
What did I used to tell you to do? Make a Joel deck. Right?
Yeah.
Which had to be a deck that was something I could beat. Which feels kind of cheap, but yeah, I mean, that's when we first started talking about like why we play card games. Like, what is the motivation behind playing, I guess, in a competitive versus a friendly environment? Because, like, okay, I'll just say it. I have a Sword Art deck for Weiss Schwarz that's really good. Really good. I don't play it against you very much because it beats you every time. Someone, however, does use it a lot. Yeah, he's in the chat room. He uses it, and he beats you every time, right? Right. And how do you feel when he beats you with it?
Wait, I'm not a Jew?
Yeah,
I think if I
that's
know who that is, I think I beat that guy all the time.
no. I'm pretty sure he beats you all the time because he always uses my sword art deck. How do you feel when he plays that Kirito?
Wait, who's I'm not a Jew?
That's Jesse.
Oh, fuck that guy.
See, I told you. That's the card we're talking about right there. If you don't know anything about Weiss Schwarz,
Oh, no, that
I know you love it. Every time this card kills another card, it gains a marker, and then each marker gives it 1 level and 1500 power. So after like 2 kills with it, there's really nothing you can do, and you can change into that at grade 1, or I'm sorry, level 1 thing of Vanguard. And so I run what 2 of these, and they get out. I know they get out every time, and I know you have a hard time dealing with that one. But how does that make you feel when that hits the stage?
I don't know. Even casually, I get kind of salty. That's the card that wrecked me at
Oh, was it that one?
Weiss Schwarz Regionals.
I thought it was this one. Oops. The grade 3 Lifa. The one where if there are 5 or fewer cards in your library, you can play it at level 2, basically.
Well, I mean that and the Kirito together.
Oh,
because by the time he was level 2, he already had the Kirito out before that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, he was level 2 and he had the Kirito out before that. The Kirito already had like 5 markers, so he was like a 16k something, and then he was like, "Oh, Lifa," and it's like, oh, "Okay, whatever, dude." I'm done.
Right. So that wasn't. You would say that wasn't a fun competition for you.
No, I had a lot of fun.
So you did. I mean, I guess I should say.
Weiss Schwarz is a very weird balance for me.
Sure.
Because like I'll play Pokemon with, you know, some of the guys in the chat right now. You know, I'll play Pokemon with those guys casually and competitively, and I'll still have fun with them because that's how much those guys mean to me.
Right.
But I mean, Weiss Schwarz is this weird balance. There's this weird balance of casual and fun, and here's why. Because the meta for Weiss Schwarz isn't stupid. You know,
right.
When I was playing Pokemon, dude, after I quit, the meta right after I quit was pretty dull. There was 1, maybe 2 decks that were really good, or 3, maybe 3, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. But everyone played the Zekrom, the full art Zekrom card, you know. The, you know, white legendary Pokemon. Well, I mean, he's black, but he was on the white version. But I mean, I just thought that was lame, you know. And plus, I'm not a big fan of rotating card games, you know. Being a fan of rotating card games is the kind of same thing as playing like a sub-based MMO game. You know?
Yeah.
Subscription-based.
Sure.
So for me, that's kind of like, you know, but Weiss Schwarz in Vanguard, they weren't rotating, and I think that's why I fell in love with them. And plus, you know, the artwork took up the whole card. That was another thing that really attracted me too.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
But like Vanguard, the reason I quit playing Vanguard is because that last tournament I went to in Iowa was, you know, that it's a very luck-based card game.
Yeah.
You know, every attack you swing with your Vanguard, you're checking the top card for an extra damage, or healing a damage, or drawing another card, or standing, you know, one of your rear guards or something. You know, attacking for a 4th time out of your maximum 3 times. You know. Right. I think because like the meta for Vanguard, there wasn't a meta, because you could play. I could give my deck, you know, to somebody who's never played before. Teach them how to play within 1 or 2 games.
That happened with me.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then play a real game with them and then lose.
Yeah, I don't think you beat me once in Vanguard.
No. And I've placed tournaments. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And that's just weird.
Yeah.
You know, like if I'm really good at a card game and I have a nice deck, there's no reason I should lose to somebody who learned the game that day. And that's what happened with you. And that's where it was kind of lame. The person who eliminated me at that team tournament in Iowa, or who eliminated us, me and my team, they were kind of, I mean, they weren't very, you know, I don't want to call them noobs like live right now, but like, you know,
right.
They weren't, it sucked. You know what I mean? Like they weren't very, the girl I was playing, she was doing just the weirdest moves, the weirdest decisions. It was like she was playing, it's like she was mashing buttons, you know? The fact that I lost to
way
her.
to call her a girl. Oh, she just mashed buttons.
Well, I mean, well, you mash buttons when we play fighting games.
No, I don't.
But
come see me on Skullgirls.
Yeah. But freaking that was lame. That was lame. The Weiss Schwarz for me, there are triggers in that game too. You know, when you swing with a character, you check the top card for a trigger. But the triggers aren't game changing.
Right.
The triggers aren't game changing like they are in Vanguard. You could be this close to winning in Vanguard and then in 2 turns lose.
Right.
You know, it's, I don't know. It's kind of lame. I think that's why I quit playing. It's just like, it was 70% luck, or it was like 80% luck and 20% skill.
Yeah.
You know, Weiss Schwarz, there's a nice balance, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was like the card game that I've been wanting to play for a while, and that's probably why it's my favorite card game now.
Sure.
But I don't know. It's tough for me because I know how to play so many card games. But I mean, that's the one I play now. That's the one I'm playing now, and that's probably why it's my favorite now. So, but I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot of card games out there that I wouldn't mind relearning to play.
Right.
And here's the thing too: if Pokemon had an unlimited format and unlimited tournaments sanctioned by Nintendo,
yeah,
I would go play those tournaments
for sure.
Play Gyarados.
Gee, why is that? Because you don't want to buy a new set every 3 months when a new set comes out?
Yeah.
So you spend a couple $100s on a nice deck that you have to rotate out in a couple weeks?
Yeah.
Seems legit.
I mean, rotating card games aren't bad. They're just, I mean, if I had the money for them, obviously, maybe. But Magic, the way their rotation works is done right, and people should follow that model, because you know, you can have a standard deck for a long time, you know, and standard is the rotating format. That's the thing about Magic too, that there's so many formats you can play.
Mm-hmm.
I had a standard deck for a while,
right, and
now it's my modern deck,
right,
because it's rotated out, but I can play it in modern.
Yep.
So that's what's cool, and they sanction tournaments for those other formats. You don't have to play standard if you don't want to.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But standard, but Magic Standard is a couple of my buddies. They're doing that right now, and they're having a lot of fun with it. And you know, it doesn't matter, because when they rotate out, okay, more cards for my EDH deck, more cards for my modern. I'll sell the rest, whatever I don't use, or I'll put away in my binder for my collection. You know what I mean? My Pokemon collection now in my binder, it doesn't really mean much and is not worth much. You know?
Right. So wait a minute. You're telling me that the Pokemon cards I bought when I was younger, I can't use anymore?
Not in a tournament, no.
Man, I should have sold that Charizard when I had the chance. Shit.
It wasn't even that expensive for that long, though.
I know. That sucks. Or like, because I bought a box of Pokemon cards so I could build a deck to play. And I got like a bunch of good cards apparently that I missed selling by like a week because they were worthless.
The Magnezone Level X, that was another deck that
I had the Gengar and like a Celebi, like the Primes, remember?
Yeah, a couple of buddies of mine called it Swagnazone.
Okay. Okay.
Swagnazone. It was an awesome card. Magnezone Level X was an awesome card.
Yeah.
It was a very good card. I mean, it was there was a card back when I played called Clay Doll, and it's Pokemon power you could do once per turn.
Yeah.
You drop 2 cards and draw up to 6. So if I had 2 cards in my hand and I didn't want them, I dropped 2, put them under my deck, picked up 6.
Right.
You went through your deck the whole time. You had your whole deck in your hand, basically. That's basically what Magnezone kind of did.
Yeah.
But plus he was just a heavy hitter. He wasn't your main attacker, but if he had to, he hit heavy. And I think that's why a lot of people played that deck. But yeah, that was a fun fun card.
And see, but like the whole point is that it was only worth something for a very small window, really, after I got it. And that was unfortunate, because now they just sit in my box over there and kind of do nothing.
Right.
But that's why I like Weiss. You know what? We have well, actually, I shouldn't bring up the Disgaea set, because the good card in that trial deck is banned.
Right.
But the ban list is really short.
Yeah. There's not a really big ban list.
No.
And it's, for the most part, it's pretty fair.
Sure.
But for the viewers who are watching now, Weiss Schwarz is a game made by Bushiroad, same guys who make Vanguard. And Weiss Schwarz takes your favorite animes. Well, I don't know if it's everyone's favorite. Some of the animes on there are my favorite. But it takes animes and visual novels, and makes cards for them. Some of the animes and the darker animes are on the black side, the short side, and the lighter visual novels or lighter animes are on the white side. And some of the sets include like Evangelion. If you're an Evangelion fan, that's one of the animes. Sword Art Online. That's a great anime. Yep. They made a set for that. Madoka Magica.
Excel World.
The card that Joel just showed on the screen earlier, those were Sword Art Online.
Nope. Oh yeah, earlier. Yeah. Here's some Madoka Magica. Yeah.
Persona was in that. Persona 3. There's a Persona 3 set and there's like 2 Persona 4 sets. One for the game and one for the animated series based on the Persona 4 game. And then those are on the Schwartz side. Angel Beats is another one. But
Angel Beats.
It's a very, so I mean the theme of it, and by theme I mean like, magic. The theme of magic is that you're a sorcerer or a wizard, and your library or your deck of cards are your spells. That's the theme of magic. Or anyway, the theme of Weiss Schwarz is you're on a stage, or you have your stage against your opponent's stage, and you play out your anime against theirs, and you have a clock. When your clock reaches the end, your anime is over. It's done. Or your whatever. That's kind of the theme of it. Your discard pile is called the waiting room. You have a center stage and a backstage, and a climax area where you play climax cards, that are, sideways, like this. Different scenes that pertain to different, cards that you have in your deck. And, but I mean, like, I have an Evangelion deck, because Evangelion is one of my favorite animes. So, I mean, for my Evangelion fans out there, Whitey Shinji, who's fucking pussy throughout the whole anime, pretty much.
But see, that's why it's so cool, because you take your favorite characters.
Yeah, you're playing a card game from your favorite stories and favorite characters,
Right.
Here, Shinji looks more badass on this card right here.
Nice.
Yeah, these are. I mean, it's just really cool. Like if there's an anime, or even some of the Schwartz cards are they're RPG games like Persona, Disgaea. Even if you're a fan of those, you could just buy that deck or those decks, And they, for the most part, they make a trial deck for every set, almost every set. And even some of those trial decks are very good. You know,
Right.
they hold their own, like even against some tier 3 and tier 2 decks.
Right.
Not any tier 1 decks, but I mean,
here's here's the board.
Oh yeah, there's
Granted, it's all in Japanese, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a Weiss Schwarz board. So I mean, the zone number 1 is where your library goes, or deck rep, or your anime, where your show is starting. And then zone number 2 is where your levels are, the stages of your story. Level 3 is your clock zone, which is the time that goes on your show. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then your level 4 is your stock zone. It's what you use to pay for stuff. You get stock every time you attack with a character. Your level 5 zone is where your climaxes happen, so where the major parts of your storyline happen. And then your level 6 zone is where all your character cards are played. You know, your burn stage and your backstage. Your backstage will assist the characters in the front. And then your level 7 zone is the discard pile of the waiting room. And your level 8 zone is the memory. Things that you have memories of but are non-existent. So I mean, it's like you're removed from play zone.
The lost zone.
Yeah, like the lost zone in Pokemon.
Yeah, because memory, cards are taken out, but a lot of cards have abilities that depend on cards in the memory. So
right.
So it's not technically, I guess it's out of the game, but not really, because there are times you can bring them back to, I don't know, whatever. It's kind of weird.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't honestly. It's a weird the way the meta works in Weiss Schwarz is. I mean, and that's another thing that we wanted to talk about tonight was the regionals. The regionals results are on a website called heartofthecards.com. Shout out to heartofthecards.com. You guys are amazing.
Seriously. Wouldn't be able to play the game without you.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be able to play the game without all the things you do. But all the results are in there, and even the Minnesota results are there too.
In Danville.
In Danville. But I mean, if you look at the decks that topped, for the most part, you only see a name of a deck repeated a couple times. Like I can see Sword Art Online a couple times, obviously, because of that one Kirito card.
Whatever. Don't be so salty.
I'm a little salty.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the decks are so wide ranged. I mean, there's Angel Beats, Project Diva. Project Diva is Hatsune Miku for all you fanboys out there who love Hatsune Miku. Madoka Magica, Love Live. Persona.
I see just a ton of different ones. Zero's Familiar, Gargantia, Rewrite. There's just like so many different ones in here.
Right.
Milky
and there's even in North Carolina regionals, there was even a Persona deck that topped, and that's a pretty old set, So I mean, that guy's obviously been paying for a while, and that kind of shows me that because he was playing an older set against some of these newer sets that are out now, and he topped at 4th place, shows me that his skill was involved in the luck and what his cards do.
Right. Because
Persona is an older set, you know what I mean? An older Pokemon deck from before Ruby and Sapphire would never beat a Pokemon deck nowadays. It just wouldn't.
Oh, you don't think a Gen 1 Charizard that does 120 damage would take out a brand new one?
No. No, because I'm saying if we were locked in those sets, if you were to use that Charizard with newer cards and newer trainers now, maybe. But if you were to use a meta versus another meta, so the meta from back in the day, when Neo Genesis was a set, to the meta now, never. And Persona was probably a deck that was a big deal in the meta a while ago.
Sure.
But whoever this guy is at NYC Sacramento or NYC regionals, and North Carolina regionals, whoever that guy was, props to you.
Seriously.
You took your Persona deck and you were like, I'm still here.
Here's one of the things about Weiss then, because as long as we're talking about the regional tournaments that I went to, but didn't get to play in, because I have an English deck, and we didn't know that had to be a Japanese deck, which sucks. But I could have used one of my other Japanese decks. I totally could have, but I didn't want to because I wanted to play the deck that I built for a very specific reason. You know the deck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's to prove that you can bypass all the mechanics and still win.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm going to do a deck profile on it at some point here, but this deck literally is just nothing but vanilla. Just that's it. That's all that it does. Bunch of cheap attacking vanillas. With the exception of one card that turns every card into a suicide card.
Yeah.
But like, how many times did I beat with this deck? The first night I made this, how many times did I win?
Every time.
Every time. That was like 10 games. Straight. How mad were you?
I was pretty mad.
See, but like, it was like an experiment because you don't have to have. You can literally buy the sets that you want to buy. Like, I have the Angel Beats trial, which is not very good. It doesn't really do much. It's just a thing. But I still win games with it against you, right?
Yeah.
And so that's great because I loved Angel Beats, therefore I wanted the trial deck, and you actually bought it for me. Thank you, by the way, for my birthday, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But that's why I love Weiss as much as I do, because you can play the cards that you want to play, really, and then still get somewhere with it.
For sure.
And I think that, seeing like a Persona deck on there, that kind of proves that a little. In fact, here's Angel Beats. That's probably the booster, but yeah, like that's really cool to me. There's so many, like it's so varied with what sets are actually placing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cool.
That's the thing about meta. In every card game I played up to this point, there's always been those few decks that have just dominated everything. Yu-Gi-Oh being the worst example. But Weiss Schwarz, I went in there with a janky Evangelion deck.
Yeah. That you pieced together like the night before.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
It's my main deck now.
Mm-hmm.
I took 5th out of 10. Like that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
There was decks that I played that without luck and actually with equal parts luck, equal parts skill should have beat. But there was certain cards in there that I had that came through for me. You know what I mean? Like
sure.
I don't know, it's kind of weird. Yeah,
it's the heart of the cards, man.
Right. I'm Yugi. But I mean, it was really, that's what's interesting is the equal parts. That moment, made me feel like there was equal parts luck, equal parts skill, and my luck came through for me on that match.
Sure.
I played Guilty Crown. I played against the Guilty Crown deck, which is a fantastic anime, by the way. I played against the Guilty Crown deck, and that deck was really good. And I had a janky Evangelion build. It's not even the main Evangelion deck that most Weiss players would probably play. But the cards I had ran in there, I think that's what's cool about Weiss Schwarz too, is there's a lot of room for teching cards.
Oh, for sure.
Teching cards in Pokemon, like if you were teching cards in Pokemon and someone saw you do it, they were like, like, what are you doing?
What? Like I did every time you would do that to me? Whatever, dude. God, that was like the worst time that I ever had in card games was playing Pokemon with you. So dumb. Which sucks because I like the Pokemon like card game. I just won't ever play with you again. But see, like when I was sitting in the other room at the tournament because I wasn't allowed in the tournament room because I was not able to compete. I heard you laughing a lot, which is cool. Even though you were getting beat, you're still having fun, right?
Oh yeah.
See, like that's super important to me. Unlike me in Pokemon with you, where I wasn't having fun. In Weiss, you do still have fun.
Yeah.
Even though you get a little salty, but
right. That's the competitive side of me.
Sure.
And I've always just been kind of competitive. I think I'm that competitive because of my brother.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those anything you can do, I can do better things.
Sure.
But now I'm finding more things that I can do better than he can.
Yeah.
because he's a bitch. No, no, he's cool. My brother's a hardcore Pokemon player, and
yeah.
More importantly, he's a hardcore collector.
Sure.
I mean, if you need to know a price of a Pokemon card, he probably knows it for sure. I mean, most Pokemon players know him anyway.
Yeah, just make sure you ask them before they go down in price.
Yeah, yeah. I'm talking like about like the older cards that people would collect, not just like, you know, the like you know, he's got I'm pretty sure that my brother has a birthday Pikachu.
That's pretty cool.
Which it is. It's pretty sick. I'm pretty sure he's got one or two of them. And he's got a couple he's got like a whole binder full of Pikachus, I'm pretty sure. But yeah,
you should bring him on the show.
I wouldn't mind that.
But
you're like, Sudi, why do you play stuff? And he's like, I'm the best Pokemon player alive. That's probably what he would say.
So he's the Kanye of the Pokemon card game.
Yeah,
is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. We should get him on there. I guess speaking of Pokemon Fall Regionals are coming up. Do you know anything that you can talk about right now about the Pokemon Fall Regionals? Quick, do a Google search.
Okay, you know what? A good buddy of mine that I used to play with, and he is really cool too. That's another. Just going back to the Pokemon community. You know, he was one of the guys in the community that was just really amazing. His name is Mike Lesky. There would be times where we had a Facebook page, and there would be times where I would just post on it and be like, oh, we had a forum. There was another forum called MidwestPokemon.info.com or something. And those are a lot of Minnesota players and Wisconsin players. That's where we got together and was like, hey. And he was sick. He like, I would post something and be like, hey, I need 3 of these cards. He's like, dude, I got 3 of them. You can have them when I see you at the tournament. And I got there. He gave them to me right away. I put them in my deck, and that was it. He was like, I don't want anything for them. It's fine.
Nice.
He just gave them to me. Like, he was cool as shit. And the reason I bring him up is because he writes articles for a very a Pokemon TCG decklist and articles website called One Hit KO. And it's a Pokemon like card gaming blog.
Yeah.
And lately the website has been getting less and less traffic, and I just want to do a shout out to those guys. I love your guys' articles, and I want to bring more traffic back to your site. So, you know, shout out to you guys. Not that our show is super popular enough to be like, oh, but like, you know,
right.
For real though, for real. But Mike Lesky is a really cool dude. His father Troy is a really cool dude as well. He's helped me out a bunch too. And it's funny too because when we would go to tournaments and they would play each other, I would just look over to them and be like, "Oh shit!" Like,
right.
Like, dude, like it's either his dad's gonna win and he's gonna be salty, or his son's gonna win and he's gonna be salty. Like,
right.
But they never like that. When they play together, they're really cool. But you know, Mike Lesky has wrote an article the other day about the 4 Tier 1 decks that are out right now, and one of them being a Darkrai X, build. And Darkrai X is a very, very hardcore card. He used to be in more builds, but I think with the rotation that there is now, he's in less builds. He's only in 1 build out of the four decks that are really huge in the meta right now. Or Darkrai EX, whatever. But I mean, he's got now they're called Pokemon abilities, but they're Pokemon powers. Each of your Pokemon that has any dark energy attached to it has no retreat cost.
Oh my god.
So, I mean, you could just attach a dark energy to whatever, and they don't have a retreat cost.
Wow.
Yeah, so then, you know, a Night Spear, is his second attack. He's just got the ability and then the attack. It does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, and it does 90 to the active. For 3. It's a very cheap cost for an attack like that. But I mean, you know, the deck, you know, you run the Garbodor, Garbodor, the garbage dude in black and white. His ability, you play him for his ability. So I mean, you just keep him on your bench. If this Pokemon has a Pokemon tool card attached to it, each Pokemon in play in each player's hand and in each player's discard pile has no abilities. So I mean,
it's like it sounds like a troll card.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds like my kind of card, actually.
It's a very weird tech, but I mean, it's really sick. It's really sick.
When's the last time you played Pokemon with one of your built decks?
I think it was with you.
No, when?
When?
Yeah.
With one of my which deck?
I don't know. That's just what Jesse is asking.
Probably I think with you, dude. When you came over once, and I was just like, "Hey, I don't know. Maybe it was. Oh no, you know what? It was with Calvin, my buddy Calvin. Played my deck.
As far as where to get a Guilty Crown trial deck, I don't know actually. It's sold out on the site I usually go to. Where'd you get yours?
I got mine off eBay.
Oh, how much did you spend?
I don't want to say that.
So it's a lot, huh? Okay.
Yeah, it was like $40-something.
That's not too bad. For like an older one like that, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty old. You know.
Right. Anyway, back to the Pokemon stuff. Sorry.
Well, I mean, the upcoming regionals, it might be kind of weird. I don't know what sets are coming out. I don't know that much. I've been on a Pokemon for a while. But, I mean, apparently, you know, the 4 Tier 1 decks are Darkrai X and that Garbodor, a Blastoise card, or deck, a Blastoise deck, that runs the Keldeo EX. The Blastoise, it's kind of a repeat of an older Blastoise and a repeat of the very first Charizard. As often as you like during your turn, you may attach a Water Energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So it basically nullifies the attach per once rule, once per turn. I don't know if you use it for its Hydro Pump. I don't think so. Does 10 more damage for each Water Energy attack. So, I mean, if you have 4 Water Energies on him to play, it's a 4-cost colorless. But, I mean, if you have 4 Waters in place of those colorless, you're doing 100 for 4. Yeah. That's not really good. I mean, it's pretty good. I don't know. I don't know, you know. But, I mean, the Drifblim, too. The Genesect EX is a new thing, I guess. That's a thing too. Is that there's this new thing where Team Plasma has its own set.
Okay.
And Team Plasma were the bad guys, and Black and White, whatever. And there are Plasma cards. There are Plasma Trainer cards. There's attach this Plasma tool to your Plasma Pokemon, and they are invincible. You know, crazy shit like that. But I mean, the Genesect, this is another deck. The Pokemon ability is when you attach a Plasma Energy card from your hand to this Pokemon, you may switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with his or her active Pokemon. Now, see here, let me tell you why that's hardcore. Because
why don't you tell me why that's hardcore?
Do you remember the card?
I
It was a
know.
very old card. It was it came on the first set, and the picture was a Weedle being gusted. It was called Gust of Wind.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was switch your opponent's active Pokemon with one of his or her with one of his bench Pokemon.
Yeah.
You drag out a bench Pokemon and fuck it up.
Right.
That ability is such a broken trainer, you know? You could run 4 of them and then boom, that's it. So, I mean, any Pokemon that has that ability on the card is pretty good. And that's why my SP deck is really good too, because the Luxray, when you play the Luxray level X on top of it, you can do that ability. And so, I mean, basically, what I'm seeing here is, you know, let's see. So the Garbodor, okay, if you're playing Darkrai EX Garbodor, obviously, actually, no, that wouldn't work. Oh, yeah, because your Pokemon ability doesn't work when the Garbodor's out. Never mind. Damn!
Wow.
Damn! Yeah, dude, that sucks, dude. I was gonna say, you know, because then you would just Red Signal or, you know, Genesect call the Garbodor and use Genesect EX's second attack for 100 damage. But you know, ugh. But I mean, that's another thing. The meta in this, you know, there's this article that my buddy Mike Lesky wrote. You know, he's like, you know, hello, blah blah. Here's my build, and here's what these 4 builds have against my deck. You know what I mean? Like, what does he run? I don't even know. Oh, he plays Deoxys X. A Keldeo Deoxys build, which I don't know what the Keldeo does, actually. Oh, here it is. I found the build for it. So he runs 4 Deoxys EX, 3 Qrem, 2 Thundurus, 2 Absol, and 1 Keldeo. So the Keldeo EX, which there's a promo version of this card now, so if you want this card, you can get it in a tin. It's got a Pokemon ability and attack for 3 colorless. The Pokemon ability is once during your turn, before your attack, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may switch this Pokemon with your active. So it's a free switch.
Right.
So you can only retreat once per turn.
Normally.
This is a free switch without using your, you know, 1 retreat per turn.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I mean, and then you just it's 3 colorless, but it does 50 plus and does 20 damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. So, you know, 50, 70, 90, 110 for 3 water energy. So you rush in and do 110, and he has 170 HP, so you're not going to kill it with a Darkrai EX or a...
Right.
You know, but that's another reason why Darkrai EX is so good, because it snipes. Does 90 to your active and then snipes a bench for 30.
Sure.
So, and then the Deoxys you run with it is got an ability called Power Connect. Your Team Plasma Pokemon's attacks, excluding Deoxys, do 10 more. So it's an extra 10 for free.
Okay.
That your Plasma Pokemon do. And its second attack, I don't know if you use it for this, but if this Pokemon has any Plasma energy attached to it, it does 30 more damage for each energy attached to the defending Pokemon. So, I mean, if you're defending Pokemon, you know, your opponent's Pokemon got 3 energy attached to it, you're doing 120 for 2 energy.
We gotta request to talk about the Monster Rancher customizable card game. I said we'll do it next week, so we better learn about it.
The Monster Rancher customizable card game?
That's our homework for this week.
Do we have any cards for that?
Nope, but we will. Because I kind of want to check that out now.
Let's learn that.
Yep.
Let's learn that.
I was gonna suggest Zillions of Enemy X, but I'd rather do this one.
The boy, the man, the myth. This is for you. We are gonna learn that card game this week and talk about it next week. Sweet. I'm writing down next week's topic down. Boom.
Love it.
Monster Rancher customizable card game. I've never heard that before.
We also have to do Kingdom Hearts.
You want to talk about Kingdom Hearts?
No, but I want to. Okay? This week you're gonna teach me how to play it sometime, and then we will talk about it. How's that?
Yeah, we can. We can talk about it. Yeah. I mean, next week would be. I think next week would be Oh, it was Chew. I'm gonna eBay them pretty quick.
See how much they are.
Yeah. I think I might remember this card game. I think I wanted them as a kid, but I couldn't find them anywhere.
Oh, so it's like old?
Oh, well, here's the Game Boy Color. I know they made a card game for the Game Boy Color, like a, you know, a game within a game thing.
Yeah. Oh, I see, yeah.
Oh, here they are. Oh my god, I totally remember these. I totally wanted these when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I just found out that one of my cars is worth $22. I should
really
sell that, yeah. Anyway, so Pokemon, go on.
I mean,
when is the tournament start?
October.
Oh, so that's like a ways away still.
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely want to report to that. Maybe get a couple of those guys to be a part of that show.
Right.
Talk about the meta a little bit, but see, the 4 decks that were mentioned by my buddy Mike Lesky here. That Darkrai build, I'm pretty sure my brother runs, and he's always ran it. Last season he had a Darkrai build. Not that build, because obviously it was rotated out now. But that exact reason is probably why I stopped playing. There's only 4 decks mentioned here that are very good.
Right.
And you could get, because here's another thing, dude. Open a booster, right? Get 11 cards. Okay. And then it's like you're looking for 1 card.
Yeah.
And there's a 90% chance you won't get it.
Right.
The only way you'd get it is if you bought it off eBay or you bought a booster box. 2 of them. You know, it's hardcore.
Right.
You know, there's so many cards. There's so many cards printed in each set, about 120 to 170 of them, and only 10 of them mean anything.
Yeah.
That's why it's stupid. You know, that's just really dumb.
Right.
You know, what's really cool about, one thing I will say, you know, about Yu-Gi-Oh, is that a lot of the because it's not a rotating card game, it's a ban card game or a restricted game. So they have a ban list and a restricted list. Sometimes, you know, they'll lift bans, and then like Magic, they will reprint those cards because they're like, hey, we know this is a staple. Here's 2 promo versions of it.
Right.
Not worth as much as the original, but now they're playable in your deck.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
I mean, there's a tin out there right now. Like I seen them at Target. It's like a $20 tin, but it comes with a copy of a card called Tour Guide of the Underworld or something. But you play her and she searches. And you
stop doing that with your cards.
Sorry. The card.
Oh man, I hate that.
A lot of card players do it, man.
I know they do. That's why every time I watch a match on YouTube, I have to mute it. That's all I hear from both sides, and then every other table is that sound. Stop. I'm gonna kick you off of Skype. Oh.
Yeah. But I mean, the Tour Guide of the Underworld, you play her, you search for another Fiend monster. And she's a level 3 card. So you search for another level 3 card. When you put 2 level 3 cards together, you can make a level 3 XYZ monster. And XYZ monsters are awesome because they're strong cards for a cheap cost. And every deck runs them now. But I mean, whatever. But I mean, the thing about Yu-Gi-Oh too is that it's the most expensive card game out there, right?
Yeah. In fact, weren't we just last night looking at like the most expensive Yu-Gi-Oh cards and like in the several hundreds each? There's a ton of them above like $200-300. Remember, we were just looking at that last night.
There was a ton of them that we saw that were above like $2K.
Oh yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah.
But I mean, That's what's weird about it. I think right now, the way the meta for Yu-Gi-Oh is right now, Blackluster Soldier apparently is a thing. Hold on.
Yeah.
Blackluster Soldier. The thing about Yu-Gi-Oh right now is that they're kind of doing their restricted list and ban list kind of right.
Mm-hmm.
There's more decks you can play now, I think. I have a 6 Samurai build. I've had it for years. And it can hold its own pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really sick, you know. And I don't know if this is the same card he was talking about, but that card is like $20. Jesus. But yeah, I don't know. Yu-Gi-Oh is a weird game. It's the way the format is, and
you still have a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
God, I think I want you to teach me how to play it now. Like, yeah, I feel like it's like my duty to like learn, you know? Yeah.
Freaking fuck you, Noah. He talks some mad shit. He's a skinny black kid. He always comes up to my face. So it's saying shit like, "Nigga, you ain't shit."
You're just gonna walk away. Is that like what you're doing? Okay. Okay. Yep.
No, it's cool. He's a serious Yu-Gi-Oh player.
That's cool.
Serious Vanguard player. Oh, actually, I don't know if he's been playing Vanguard lately, but I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh is probably his first choice.
Mm.
But I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh is pretty fun. I have 2 decks. My fiance's got 1 deck, and then I have 1.
Nice.
So, yeah, I can teach you how to play that. That's fun.
Okay.
Actually, Noah should teach you. Noah's got like 3 decks. You got like 3 decks, don't you?
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
so
there you go.
He's a cool dude. He gave me. There's a trap card called Torrential Tribute, and they were the cheaper versions of him. So I mean, that's why the original versions of them are more expensive. But he had the cheaper ones of them. He gave me just a couple of them.
Nice. That's
just
pretty
because, like, yeah, he's pretty sick. Most Yu-Gi-Oh players are kind of like, I don't trust you, but yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh Bridge. Yeah, we'll watch that.
Let's go ahead and just do that. Like
Joey, Earth to Joey. Bada bing, Yugi.
Okay. So that's about it. Are we done? Is this it? Can we go home?
I think we're doing good. I think we did good today. I think.
Does anybody know how long that actually was? I did not keep track of time.
I think that was almost about. I think that must have been 1 hour and 20 minutes, dude.
Dang. Oh, what about the ban list? What about it?
What ban list? The Weiss Schwarz ban list?
The one that doesn't ban or limit the black swords or Kirito discovers unique skill.
Oh, Kirito discovers. Oh, okay.
Okay.
The Weiss Schwarz ban list. I mean, we should talk about Weiss Schwarz a little more, I think.
Sure, why not?
I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I mean, Weiss Schwarz, like just continuing from earlier, I guess, before I started spewing off about Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and their metas. Weiss Schwarz is gonna be, I think, it's gonna be a rising card game soon. I mean, it's a rising card game now, but I think it might. The more animes that Americans are attracted to will come out in English, and I think that's going to be the next big thing. And that's what's going to get people to play it. That's what got me to play it. The moment I knew there was an Evangelion deck, I jumped on that right away.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like I hop that joint faster than a high guy going to McDonald's.
By the way, just really quick, I'm showing the band list of Weiss Schwarz. This column over here is the old band list. This is the new band list.
Post that link in the chat room.
Oh, fine.
But I mean, I think the only part of this band list. So what you want to pay attention to is the band list on the right, because that's September 2nd.
Yeah.
Up till now. And the thing of it is, with Vanguard and Weiss Schwarz, but the thing I should say, the thing about Bushiroad is the way they limit and restrict stuff is kind of weird, because you can see over here at the index and railgun, if you stop right there, index and railgun, and if you want to move over to that real quick.
No, I have to zoom in because somebody apparently can't read it, so.
Oh, well, maybe you should get
glasses. Go ahead and just zoom in like that.
You should get some glasses.
How's that? Is that better for you?
It's not anyone's fault that you never got hooked on Fox. Okay? I'm just kidding. We love our viewers. Not really. So, I mean, if you, even right here, if you look right there, where it says 3, choose 1.
Mm-hmm.
It means you can only have one of those 3 cards. You cannot have all 3 of them. You can't have 3 of one of them. You can't have 2 of one of them. You have those 3 to choose 1 from.
Right.
So you can't play them together.
Yeah.
It's not one of each of them. It's not 3 of one of them. It's one of those 3.
Yeah.
And I remember when Vanguard did that for my deck, and me and my buddies that were playing at the time were super mad. Super mad. They are kind of, I don't know why, they're doing Weiss Schwarz right. And that's probably another reason why I love it so much. A lot of the cards you see on this ban list, I'm not a Jew, so.
This card right here, for example.
We should be nicer to our fans. Go ahead, sorry.
This one right here, I know for a fact, this one, I guarantee, because I have 2 boxes coming of Milky Homes, and I'm probably going to get this one, which sucks, because that means I can't use it. What was that one again? That's like a heal 2 or something like that. Oh, your video's gone.
Oh, that's not good.
Where'd you go? There we go. By the way, did you see your offline video?
Yeah.
Your picture? Yeah.
Thank you for that.
No problem, buddy.
The thing that it's weird because for Vanguard, and I don't have my Vanguard cards up here right now, but you know, for the viewers who are for the viewers who play Vanguard still and know what I'm talking about when this happened, they lifted that ban.
Mm-hmm.
But when it happened, you know, a lot of us were pretty mad.
Right.
There was a card out there and called Dragonic Overlord: The End, and you put it on top of your Dragonic Overlord. And there's a mechanic in Vanguard called Persona Blasting, and that meant discarding the same card from your hand to use the ability.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Dragonic Overlord: The End, and you discarded Dragonic Overlord: The End and pay another cost. And basically what you could do was stand it again and attack with it again.
Right.
And they limited it. They chose a list of 3 cards from that clan or that deck, and you could only choose 2 of them. And one of the names of those cards was Dragonic Overlord: The End.
Right.
What's the point of having a Persona Blast card and only being able to run 2 of them?
Right.
It's just so stupid. It was just like we were so mad, like because I was trying to build Majesty Lord Blaster to that too, and Majesty Lord Blaster is really nothing without the starting Vanguard, and you could only run. There was a list of 4 Royal Paladin cards, which is that deck, Royal Paladin cards, and you could only choose 2 of them. So it was like I could only run 1 copy of the Grade 3 and 1 copy of the starting Vanguard, and that was just really stupid. It's really hard. I mean, the Vanguard is not a big searching game like Pokemon or Magic is.
Right.
Weiss Schwarz is kind of a little bit, but like I said, Weiss Schwarz has that perfect balance.
Mm.
But what Bushiroad ended up doing was holding an unlimited tournament in Japan, just to test the meta and to see if these cards really needed this restriction or ban. After they had that tournament, they realized that all kinds of decks topped because it's a fucking luck-based game.
Why don't you tell me how you really feel?
And then they lifted the ban.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's cool that they did that. I'm glad they did that. And I think that's why, with Weiss Schwarz, they're trying to be more careful with it because in America, it's starting to blow up. And, for my Vanguard viewers out there and our Weiss Schwarz viewers out there, you know what I'm talking about. You can't sit here in our chat room and tell me that that Vanguard is a better game than Weiss Schwarz. It just isn't. It just isn't. Weiss Schwarz is such a balanced card game, in my opinion.
Wait. I'm getting something here. You heard it here first. Opinions are facts. Shut up.
Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry. But, I mean, me personally, in my opinion, I think it's a better card game because there is that balance for me. And
Sure.
Some of my Vanguard friends, I think, agree.
I never had a problem with Vanguard because I always won, so it was not that big of a deal for me.
Whatever.
I thought it was pretty fun. I liked it. I'm going to show... This is one of the banned cards. Where is it? There we go. So
yeah, I mean, this is a good example of a fair ban, I think, and I think that's why Bushiroad wants to take care of this card game. If they want it to grow, they will keep doing their bans like this.
Right.
But I mean, go ahead, read that.
Put up the 2 cards. So basically, it's a grade 3, cost 2, so you can only play it late game. It's an event, correct. So when you play it, you actually heal 2, and give somebody 3K. It's like, God, it doesn't just do one thing, which is usually a heal 1, and those are even rare. It heals 2, and you can give someone else 3K. That's pretty big. The fact that this was even made kind of shocks me a little bit.
Right.
Like, I don't even know how they made that.
On top of a 1K1, a global 1K1 climax.
Right.
That's
and you know what? The funny thing, in looking through a lot of the cards that are banned on the list, they're all this same effect. There's a lot of them that are the grade 3 event that does the same stuff. So
yeah.
I thought that was kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah.
The other stuff is like the grade 3 Laharl. Do you remember what that one does? You know what that one does.
Yeah, I mean, you put it in the memory, you search for 2 cards out of your waiting room. If you run 4 of them, you can do that 4 times.
Right.
And on the 4th time, you just search, or on the 3rd time, you just search for the 4th Laharl.
Right.
By the time you search for that last Laharl, you have it in your hand to play on level 3.
Yeah.
So, or unless you want to search for a different card game or whatever.
Right.
But,
that wasn't banned up until recently. It was limited. Now it's actually
it was limited to 2, and then now you can't play any of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like the ban list is pretty fair.
Mm-hmm.
The ban list in Yu-Gi-Oh is pretty fair for the most part too. It's a little weird. I don't know.
Sure.
The only bans I'm aware of in Vanguard right now are there was a grade 0 that made it so you could be grade 2 by turn 2, and that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely is definitely agreeable. You were 2 steps, maybe even 3 if they got grade stuck ahead of your opponent. So there was no way they were blocking some of these attacks in the beginning.
Right.
Your Vanguard was swinging for 14 or 15 at their Vanguard that is 8K.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 10 block, but when you're a grade 3, you drive check twice. So it's like, but I mean, I think that's a pretty fair ban. And I think Bushy Road is going in the right direction.
Sure.
I don't know about their other card games, like, Chaos or Victory Spark or anything like that. I don't know anything
What's the
about
new one coming out?
Buddy Fight.
Buddy Fight.
It's more for kids.
Yeah, I really kind of figured. We have to learn that one.
Buddy Fight?
Yeah.
No.
Come on.
Buddy Fight?
Heart of the Cards, man.
Buddy Fight. Yeah, we can learn that one. We'll learn.
No. Okay, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
But no, I mean, for the most part, I think this was a pretty good show. I'm sorry if it was kind of all over the place.
It's our first one.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk more about obscure card games in the next show. And I definitely, maybe in later shows, want to even bring on some other more seasoned Magic players, since we didn't really touch very well on Magic today.
God, maybe we could get Todd.
No, because here's Todd's problem. He is like one of those Magic players who was like, look at this really big monster. He would never spend 20, not even let alone $20 on a deck.
Right. That's true.
My modern deck, which was my standard deck at the time, a buddy helped me with it, but I paid like $25 for it.
Right.
But I definitely do want to talk about Magic a little more.
Yeah.
For me, Magic is Elders, Dragons, and Highlanders, EDH. 100 card deck with a general. No card is the same except for your mana, which is a very fun format for me. It's very fun for people who is a casual Magic player like me, which is important to me because I don't really have the money to spend on Magic. Right. I have one EDH deck that I built with a collection of cards that I had in my house, and recently there were some new additions to that deck that I put some money into, but
that link does not work.
That link does not work.
Try again.
But yes, that is another thing. Thank you. I'm not a Jew. Any questions or concerns, I would like you.
Oh, actually, yeah, you know what? Now's a good time to actually point this out. If you have any questions or comments, you can actually send an email to questions@cardsinhand.com.
Yep.
We actually have our own email address now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So send them there. Send your suggestions there. And please follow us on Twitch and Twitter, and hopefully Facebook soon.
What am I watching?
What the hell?
Oh my god! Hold on.
That's
what the heck is? What am I watching here?
I don't even know. What the hell?
I love every second of it.
I love that. Thank you. The boy, the man, myth.
That is so good.
That must be the Japanese game show.
I love it.
I love it. That's amazing. Like and subscribe on Twitch. Follow us on Facebook soon, hopefully. Follow us on Twitter at CardsInHandMN. It's our Twitter handle, or hashtag CardsInHandMN.
Yeah, because some jerk just stole the regular Cards in Hand.
Yeah. And email us at questions@cardsinhand.com, right? Cardsinhand.com. Email us there for suggestions on the next show.
Or if you're a part of Worldwide Weiss, go ahead and post in there too. Yep,
and if you're a Weiss Schwarz player and you're very excited about the rising Weiss Schwarz community, please join our Facebook group, Worldwide Weiss. And for those of you who are big on Vanguard, there is a Facebook for that too. Card to Fight Vanguard in Minnesota. we are a pretty large community. We have like 50 members on that website. Not all of them are very active, but I mean, me and a bunch of other guys are still very active on that Facebook as well. Sudi is a faggot. Tell your what the hell?
I don't know. That's what I was laughing at, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, my brother. But yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So
what time are we thinking next week?
I don't know. We started this one pretty late.
Yeah.
I would say 11 o'clock at night on. I don't know what day. Tuesday. Tuesday.
Yeah.
11 o'clock at night. So and then with any prep time, I would say 11:15.
Yeah.
So too bad whoever Paco Poma is, you missed everything about Pokemon if that's who I think.
We brought that up just for you too, dude.
Yeah. So Paco Poma, get out of here.
Yeah.
Dude, it's my cat Paco. It is. You don't think he's got thumbs, but he knows.
Oh, that is awesome.
He knows. All right. But
that's it. First show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So join us next week at 11 o'clock, maybe 11:15ish on Tuesday nights. We'll talk about I think we'll touch on Magic a little more as we get closer to the Pokemon Fall Regionals. I want to talk more about that because I feel like the meta for that is very interesting right now, being the Darkrai EX and the Keldeo EX.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe touch Magic a little more. But something that I think would be a great topic next week is odd card games.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
I have here written down just for my buddy Chew, the Monster Rancher customizable card.
Yes.
And we'll play Kingdom Hearts this week, and we'll talk about that next week too. And maybe we can talk about why that card game died, because Kingdom Hearts is such a great game, and I feel like it could have been a sweet card game. There being Chain of Memories,
yep.
and, Chain of Memories Remix.
Yep.
That could have been a great card game, and I feel like it'd be important to talk about why that died. Because I had fun with it. My brother and me learned to play it together, and me and him played for a while. Actually, we played a lot. We played that game a lot for a while. I want to say for like a good couple months we played. But
and then we talk about this.
Oh yeah, overpowered. Marble overpowered. Look how 90s that looks.
I will say these cards are like plastic. They're like oh god, unzoom.
They're like hard cardstock scrapbooking paper.
Yeah. This is like legit. Look at that. We gotta learn this game. We have to learn this game.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So upcoming Pokemon regionals, touch on a little Magic and odd card games a little bit, and why Kingdom Hearts died next week on Cards in Hand.
Works for me. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks a lot, guys. See you next week. Bow, bow. Bow, bow, bow.